Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. I am Starco Gaming and today we'll talk about Tier 2 Sentinel. Tier 2 Sentinel was one of the newest characters added in update 4.5 and honestly guys, I'm a little bit disappointed by the character. Not that the character is that good, it is good. He is good in his own way. But I'm a little bit disappointed to get a new paywall character that is not stronger than what it is. So, first thing we're gonna do, guys, we're gonna look through the actual character. Then we're gonna share our opinion on what is good for and what is bad for. So first, we're gonna go with my actual build since we're gonna be showing some gameplay anyway. So here we have a pretty much a well set up build, guys. As you can see, max kill cooldowns. Well, we'll say max ignore defense too, 40% ignore dodge, 30,000 HP, critical damage 146%, critical rate 29%, attack speed a little bit low with 117, and energy attack 15,000. As his ability here on the left side, Pure Evil, increased damage dealt to superhero type characters by 4%, and well, he's a machine. So those are the little things that he has. If we look at the, well, his skills, I guess will be the next part here. Skills is tier 2 passive here, tech upgrade, applied to self, 20% increase to all attack and defense of summon characters, 20% increase to HP, and 20% duration increase of summon characters, increase all attack by 25%. All speed by 10%, critical rate by 10%, and remove incapacitation immune to dominance of a spirit effect, which means that he's actually immune to mind control, and ends effect of skill mutant suppressor. So that's the tier 2 passive, guys. If we look at his leadership, which is probably one of the best part of the character, is his leadership, self repair. Applied to all allies, activation rate when debuff, remove all debuff effect for 12 seconds, on a cooldown 20 seconds. So that makes him, you know, an important leadership for Alliance Conquest, Timeline, and giant bus rate, pretty much. Now, if we look at his tier 1 passive, Mutant Suppressor, activation rate 25% rate, 25% rate when it applied to self, super armor, all defense plus 5%, last 6 seconds, and the cooldown is 5 seconds, 70% chance to become immune to the greatest element damage received for 6 seconds with a cooldown of 5 seconds. Like if again it take a massive lightning damage, well, he has 70% chance to become immune to lightning damage. And applied to self, increased damage dealt to mutant type character by 90%, and decrease damage received from mutant characters by 50%. That whole skill has a cooldown of 3 seconds. Now, as you can see here, you can think that it's going to make him stronger against mutant. Yes, it will, but I did test him in Timeline Battle, guys, and Jangray still get to one-shot him pretty easy. Same thing with Scarlet Witch. Those are the one I actually tested him against in PvP. So even though he gets a good buff against mutant, he still can get one-shot by some of them. So this sucks. With that actual tier 1 passive, I'm expecting a lot more from him. I'm expecting him to actually be able to handle Jangray no problems, which is not the case. So it's a bit of disappointment. Now if we look at his skills here, the first skill is a Rocket Punch. 3 second stuns with a 6 second cooldown, which is actually 3 second cooldown with max kill cooldown. Mutant detected, applied to enemies, 25% decrease of all defense, stack up to 100%. 25% decrease of all attacks, stack up to 100%. So that has a 7 second cooldown. Now you see that, guys, but you're like, oh, but it only you only do 25% reduction, but you have to take in consideration that the minions you have with you are from the 5th skill are actually going to replicate your skills. So instead of that happening one time, it will happen 3 times because you have 2 minions with you. Plus, if they stand in the yellow circle that was actually created on the ground, it will stack up to 100%. So right out the bat, it's 75% of first hit when you have your minions out. So this is a very strong attack, especially for PvP, allying conquest, and that kind of stuff. Next, you have the third skill. Third skill is the survivability skill, guys. Apply to self, 15% recovery on max HP. Create a shield that is 30% on max HP. Remove all debuff. So in addition of his leadership debuff removal, you still have this one too, and some attack. So it is a very strong skill. Then we have the fourth skill. The fourth skill seems to be the skill that does the most damage, guys. Cable Theater. Applied to enemies, deal 20% shock damage every 1 second for 5 seconds, stun for 3 seconds, stun for 1 second. Kind of weird they put stun twice in the same skill, so, but that's what we got. And applied to self, 100% chance to penetrate with energy immunity, physical immunity, all damage immunity, invincible effect. So a good piercing attack, guys, very useful for against Alliance Conquest if you are alive. And you have the fifth skill. Fifth skill is the most important skill, guys. Sentinel Army applied to self. Summon an illusion with 100% of the summoner stats. That lasts 20 seconds. And the cooldown is about 13 seconds, well 12.5 seconds with max skill cooldown. So you have no reason to not have your summons out at all times. So how this guy works basically? Well, the summons, like I said, guys, will replicate your every single skills you do except the fifth skill. So every time you use a strong skill, your two summons are going to do the same. So that make it very strong for that. But I was expecting more. I was expecting more damage output. We tested this guy in mini game mode, guys, but in all game modes, and the only game modes that actually succeed properly is Alliance Conquest and Shadowland. Those are the two exclusive game mode that is good as 8 characters. Yes, his leadership make him very much useful in other game mode, but as a main game mode, that's going to be what is going to be successful in. Wall Boss Ultimate, you know, stage 20 is pretty much going to be the maximum it's going to be able to achieve. So for paywall characters, I do believe that's a little weak, but his leadership is buff and debuff against mutant is actually what's going to make him very useful for Alliance Conquest, guys. Now if we look at the ISO set I'm wearing, we have Hawkeye's offensive ISO set and custom gear. Best custom gear, best CTP usually for summon characters. CTP of Transcendence, increase all attack and ignore dodge, plus apply invincibility, and decrease the effect of free flag damage. So very good obelisk for summon characters, guys, because the pros will not affect the summoning characters. Critical rate will affect a little bit, but not that much. Critical damage, I mean. So what's best usually with summon characters is to have all attack buffs, so they actually do more damage. And you're going to see, guys, in some game mode, when we get to the gameplay section, the damage is actually pretty decent on some skill. It's just 1 or 2 skills will do good amount of damage, but the rest is pretty plain. And the skill animation that do a lot of damage actually is a long skill animation, so that reduce its potential. So Wall Boss Ultimate, guys, if you want to go over stage 20, I do not recommend this guy. Stage 15 is pretty much where he stands comfortable. Alliance Conquest is going to be able to be used as either a leadership or a main characters to counter mutants, to kill mutants, or just to make sure that your characters don't get web or shit like that. Same thing with in timeline battle. In giant boss raid, leadership, that's his only usefulness, is leadership to make sure that the giant boss raid, which is master mode right now, is not going to be fearing the team and you know, one-shotting people when they are getting feared. So that is going to be used in there. And in Shadowland, I think that this guy can clear pretty much every single floor. I don't see him having any issues, you know, just by reducing the defense and the attack. That makes sure that he's going to actually murder everybody that is going to be facing. So this guy is amazing in Shadowland. He's amazing in Alien Conquest, but in World Boss Ultimate, since you can actually decrease the defense with that second skill of the World Boss Ultimate, that means the World Boss is not going to be taking the amount of damage that, for example, a Shadowland enemy is going to be taking. Now, if we go with the rotation, guys, I know we talk about the skill, but the rotation is pretty simple. 5th skill on cooldown, 3rd skill on cooldown, then you want to apply your 2nd skill, which is the most important. Your 2nd skill to put that defense reduction, and you want to put your 4th skill. So 2nd skills when the mobs are standing in your yellowish area. Use your 1st skill. Your 4th skill to do a lot of damage, and well, if you have time, you can use the 1st skill, but it doesn't do much. For example, World Boss Ultimate, but it will do good enough in Shadowland. So that's pretty much for this guy, guys. This guy in my tier list, if you saw my tier list video, is ranked into the support section because his main job, guys, let's be honest, we don't care much about Shadowland anymore. Everybody can clear a floor in Shadowland. It's about his usefulness is going to be about his leadership, so he goes into the support section on my tier list. Leadership important, like I repeat myself, important for giant boss rate, important for timeline, important for online conquest. So that is going to be his main job, which is this is why I think that I paid as a paywall character just to be a support character. I know there's other paywall that are actually worse than him, and I do not recommend them either. And you're going to say, well, but Ghost Panther was a little bit like that. Yes, but Ghost Panther can actually clear stage 30 plus on Ebony Mod, so and that makes him a lot stronger than this guy. Still, this guy is pretty decent in what he does, and although I do not recommend getting a tier 2, mega tier 2 ticket on him, like I did. I do recommend this guy. If you're going to buy a paywall, well, BO subscription, go for this guy because he is pretty decent in what he does, guys. So, on that, we're going to move to the gameplay section, guys. We got some World Boss Ultimate, we got story mission, timeline battle, well, friend timeline battle because I'm out of timeline. Well, I don't want to ruin my timeline score pretty much. So, friend battle and some other game mode, guys. So, thank you for watching this video. Enjoy the gameplay, and please, guys, let me know what you think about these characters from your personal testing, guys. So, don't forget to hit the sub, like button, and enjoy the gameplay, guys.
I wanna get closer, wanna come over, I wanna get moving, grooving. Your folks disapproving, we can have fun, yeah. Don't need no money, and we can be brilliant without millions. Baby, it ain't no closer, wanna come over, I wanna get moving, grooving. Your folks disapproving, we can have fun, yeah. Don't need no money, and we can be brilliant without millions.
before we let it go to rest. It's such a heartbeat pounding in your chest in this story.
Backlash written on me, card rubbing on the glass bowl. I've been ballin', free my lady singing, coming now. I'm already out, already on the countdown. I'ma set it right. Got the backlash written on me, cold running from the popo, and it's on me. Don't know which way we're going now, I don't wanna know it. Might as well be going down, I don't wanna know it.
We're going up, we're going under, and there's nothing that we can do. The final hour before we let it go to rest. It's such a heartbeat pounding in your chest in this story. We're going under, and there's nothing that we can do. The final hour before we let it go to rest. It's such a heartbeat pounding in your chest.